want to say a few words about a unique book, Song of Songs. Songs doesn't fit into any good category of genre really easily. I tend to talk about it in the wisdom literature because it fits here better than anywhere else. It is that sort of indication of indirect revelation that we talked about with some of the wisdom literature, so maybe it works here better than any place else. It's been called the greatest hermeneutical challenge in interpreting the Hebrew Bible. Like I said, doesn't fit anywhere really easily. The title, Song of Songs, is actually the Hebrew form of the superlative. So it's very much the same form as Holy of Holies, in other words, the most holy place. The Song of Songs is the most songiest song. It's the songiest song ever. You won't find a song any songier than this song. Don't really know what that means exactly. It's not referenced in the New Testament, so we don't have any indication that it was quoted there. There have been different interpretations over the years. There are some who suggested that it could be a drama of 2 or 3 characters, and that's possible. We do have the lover, who's our male character, the beloved, who is our female character, and the chorus of friends, who I tend to think of as the group that keeps showing up asking awkward questions. And you can look at chapter 8 if you don't believe me on that one. The truth of the matter is the literary genre of drama was never really fully developed in the ancient Near East, certainly in Greece, but not in Israel. And so it was probably not to be read as a drama. Some have seen this as an anthology of secular love songs, maybe Syrian love songs, maybe Syrian wedding songs. This would be some sort of Hebrew adaptation of that. It could be an adaptation of the Mesopotamian fertility cult. Certainly there were fertility cults around there. And we've also seen that there was no hesitancy of the ancient writers to borrow from their surrounding culture and transform it, though I don't know that they transformed it a whole lot in the case of Song of Songs. The third interpretation probably has been the most popular. It's probably the interpretation that got it into Scripture, and that is that it's an allegory of Yahweh's love for Israel. And when Christians brought this book into their canon, then it became an allegory of Christ's love for the church. That's the one that has sort of kept it around for a couple of thousand of years. In the early days of the canonical debate, there's a story told about Rabbi Akiba at the Council of Jamnia when there were those rabbis who wanted songs to not be in the Hebrew canon. He defended it by saying that if the Hebrew Bible was the temple, then Song of Songs is the Holy of Holies, which I know makes him sound like a dirty old man, but really what he's trying to say there, he's picking up on that allegory of this is God's love for his people. God is the lover, Israel is the beloved. Songs were read at Passover. I assume picking up on that association, that allegorical association, that's the only possible explanation I have. But one of the interesting features of this book, and one of the reasons that I find it interesting that's in the canon, human sexual love is not a mark of evil for ancient Israel. It's not something dirty. It's not something that's been swept aside. The book is explicit regarding human sexuality, and even more explicit when you recognize the number of euphemisms that occur in this text, which I am absolutely not going to do, as I would like to keep this YouTube channel family friendly. They are pretty explicit in regard to this. It's just without the euphemisms, it's a celebration of human sexuality. When you know the euphemisms, it's even better. One of the interpretations I find interesting about songs, though, that I want you to be aware of, comes from Phyllis Tribble. Phyllis is a tremendous Old Testament scholar, and she suggested that songs presents a picture of the properly restored relationship between the man and the woman. That relationship that was damaged in the fall in Genesis 3, where you see in Genesis 3:16, your desire will be for your husband, but he will rule over you. You see that same word used in song, where in Song 7:10, the beloved, the woman says, I'm my beloved and his desire is for me. So it is actually reciprocated, that desire, as opposed to in Genesis 3, where you'll desire your husband, but he's going to boss you around. Now in songs we see that I am my beloved's and his desire is for me. So that love is reciprocated. It's an interesting interpretation, I think, to see this as that they properly restored, appropriate relationship between the man and the woman. those are some quick thoughts, some Song of Songs. I'm not going to give very many more, so enjoy the chapter reading and certainly look at some selections from songs. I would also want to point out that Songs is very good at pointing out how cultural beauty is, because very often I think some of the things that are celebrated in songs would not be things you'd want to tell your beloved on a Valentine's Day card, like that her nose is the Tower of Lebanon or her belly is a heap of wheat. We see these things as cultural indications of beauty, which is something else I suppose the book can teach us.